good opportunities to race for the medals, and we're going to have to prepare very hard and improve between where we are right now and the games in Athens in 5 weeks' time. And I think if we can make some small improvements, we have a shot at the podium.
Thank you, Dave. Good luck.
Thank you.
Steve?
Thanks, Elliot. These are the swimmers that Dave Johnston and the coaching staff can think about for Athens. Keith Beavers and Scott Dickens, first-time Olympians. Rhiannon Lear will attend her second games. For 16-year-old Brittany Reimer, the distance freestyler, Greece will be her first. From the Olympic trials today, we'll see a pair of freestyle races for the men, featuring Rick Say. We'll see Lear in the 100 breaststroke, Reimer in the 200. She really prefers the 400 and 800. And one of Byron's favorites, the men's 100 free. This could be an Olympic classic in Athens with the likes of Popoff and Van den Hoogenbond, but will it have a Canadian in the final 8? We're getting set now for the men's 400-meter freestyle. Canada won gold in this event at the Olympics way back in 1912 from George Hodgson. 4 years later, George Verneau won a bronze, and Canadians haven't made the podium since. The Canadian Olympic Committee standard in this race, 350.80. And the Canadian record holder, Rick Say, is not swimming this event. He's going to concentrate on the 200. This should be a battle between lanes 3, 4, and 5. Andrew Hurd, Curtis McGilvery, and Mark Johnston. They were fastest in the heats, and that should translate into a good swim in the final with an Olympic berth at stake.
And in this 8-man field, starting with lane number 1, you've got the 22-year-old Richard Cormack from the powerful University of Calgary swim team. Next to him, just up the road in Edmonton from the University of Alberta swim team, is Malcolm Lavoie. Next to him in lane number 3, one of the favorites, Andrew Hurd out of Mississauga, was a member of the 2000 Olympic team, studying to be an engineer at university. Curtis McGilvery, the 20-year-old from Waterloo, who's been training in Australia for the last 2.5 years and has made huge improvements. Mark Johnston, the veteran of the Olympic team in the year 2000 from the University of British Columbia team, originally out of St. Catharines, Ontario. He was on the team 4 years ago in this event. Lane number 6, Elliot Rushton from Surrey, BC. He moved here when he was 6 years old with his father, who was involved in British swimming and then Canadian swimming. Next to him, lane number 7, Jared Ballum. Unique for Jared, he's from PEI. There aren't a lot of swimmers in the finals in PEI. He now trains out of the University of Calgary. Rounding out this field, the youngster, the 16-year-old, much younger than the others, but watch for him in the future, Ray Batuzzi from Calgary.
It is sold out here at the Etobicoke Olympian for the Olympic trials. 2004 version, and we've got 8 swimmers about to get on the blocks for the men's 400-meter freestyle. 8 lengths to the pool. Andrew Hurd in 3, Curtis McGilvery in 4, Mark Johnston in 5, the favorites.
And it's interesting that the swimmers, a lot of them are wearing those new Fast Skin or one of the other manufacturers here. They all have these new suits that the swimmers are wearing. Some of them only like it from the waist down to the ankles. Some of them like it over the whole body. It's really a question of the feel. The swimmers have to get in the water, feel what they feel like, and then see how...
Touching the wall, less than 50 meters to go down. This men's 400-meter freestyle. The qualifying time is 350.80. It is Hurd, but McGilvery has made his move, dropping Johnston back to 3rd.
Yes, Johnston's out of it. It's all Hurd. He's got a great last 50, as we said. Look at the powerful kick. He wasn't using those legs. He should be able to get to this standard. It's going to be close.
The time is 350.80 to get those tickets. Hurd is coming to the wall. He's done it. Andrew Hurd, 349.67, and that is a new Canadian record, bettering the old mark set by Rick Say, 349.9. A terrific swim from Andrew Hurd. Second place going to Curtis McGilvery. He doesn't make the time, and neither does Mark Johnston, who swam so valiantly to finish 3rd. But the winner is Andrew Hurd with an Olympic qualifying time of 349.67.
Well, and I think he can thank Mark Johnston for taking everybody out and and serving as a rabbit, because there, now you can see this right here. Mark Johnston took out Andrew Hurd. He has a tendency to hold back too much, and Johnston took him out at the second 100. By the third 100 there at that turn, Johnston was already starting to labor, but it set up Andrew Hurd brilliantly for that last 100 where he knows he takes no prisoners, and he came home very, very strong, got under that time, and he really wanted to make this one because the 1,500-meter freestyle a little bit later in the program is a long, painful race, and he'd like to know he's already got his ticket punched, and he certainly does. Curtis McGilvery, little off his best time, so he won't be going. Johnston, the early leader, fades towards the end of the race, but Andrew Hurd all the way home.
This year's Canadian Olympic swimming trials. Canada's best ever Olympic swim in the men's 200-meter freestyle was a 4th in 68 from Ralph Hutton. On deck now at the trials, a competitive field in this event led by Rick Say, but none have met the pre-qualifying time of 1:49.04. Rick Say will be in lane 4 and Colin Russell in 5, tied for the best time of the heats with a clocking 1:50.18. Also up for grabs in this one, positions on the relay team in Athens. Say in 4, Colin Russell in 5.
Yannick Lupien will have lane number 1. He trains outside Quebec City. He was on the Olympic team in the year 2000. He's known more for his sprints, but he's stepping it up to the 200-meter freestyle. In lane number 2, next to him will be Adam Siwi. He's from Canadian Forces Base Trenton. He was the NCAA 200-yard freestyle champion. He's trying to move up to the metric distance and see if he can make this team. Brian Johns will have lane number 3. He's known much more for his individual medley prowess, where he's one of the top 10 in the world, but he surprised the field 4 years ago and finished second in this race. The favorite next to Johns will be Rick Say, the 25-year-old from the interior of BC, now trains in Victoria. He won a bronze medal in the Commonwealth Games in this event. He is certainly the favorite. Lane 5, Colin Russell, the newcomer to the national scene, really. His mom, Erin Corcoran, was a national medalist in the 80s in the freestyle, and his dad was a coach. He's trying to make his first national team. We'll have Andrew Hurd in lane number 6 from Toronto. He's already made the team in a 400-meter freestyle event earlier in the meet. He just missed making the team 4 years ago in this event, so he's trying to atone for that one. Brent Hayden, study and concentration. He's a Canadian record holder in the 100-meter distance. He's going to go for a berth in the 200-meter freestyle. He's 20 years of age and trains in Vancouver. And his teammate in lane number 8, Mark Johnston, the 24-year-old, originally out of St. Catharines, trained in Vancouver, has bronze medals in this event from the Pan Ams and the World Championships. This is a great field in the men's 200-meter freestyle. Rick Say scratched the 400-meter freestyle, meaning he pulled out of it earlier in the meet because he said, I am going after the best in the world in this one. I don't need the other one, even though I'm the best in Canada. I want the 200-meter freestyle. He looks hungry.
Rick Say in lane 4, 4 lengths of the pool, the men's 200-meter freestyle. The qualifying time in this event is 1:49.04.
And the other thing we have to realize is that Canada has a 4x200 freestyle relay. If the top 4 men in here go under a specific time of 1:49.6, if each one of those top 4 can get under that time, they will all be named to represent Canada. And that relay has a shot at finishing in the top 5 at the Olympic Games.
Pretty close as they head down towards the wall for the first time. And in lane 7, it's Brent Hayden leading the way with a split time of 25.30.
My expectation would be that Hayden down at the bottom in lane 7 and way up at the top, Yannick Lupien, they're the best 2 100-meter freestylers, would try to take it out because that's their strength. Rick Say making a great move in the middle of the pool to get back to them. This is great for him. He's going after one of the top times in the world.
Rick Say has made his move and taken the lead as they come to the wall. They'll touch. They're at the halfway point of the 200 free. The split time, 52.35 for Hayden.
And they're definitely on record pace if they can keep this up. Both these men, Brent Hayden at the bottom, Rick Say in the middle. Very interesting strategies. At the bottom, Brent Hayden has not really been swimming that fast over the summer. Rick Say has been tearing up the circuit in Europe to establish himself as one of the best in the world. It
is Rick Say from Salmon Arm, BC, leading the way to the wall. He touches and will have less than 50 meters to go now in this men's 200-meter freestyle.
And he's certainly way under Canadian record pace, and he usually doesn't have a very strong kick, and he's got a great kick at this point. Hayden's in second spot, no question, but it's Rick Say. He smashed the Canadian record this winter, and he said, I'm going for the summer long course. He's on record pace, Steve.
Rick Say with 10 meters to go now in this 200-meter freestyle. Rick Say coming to the wall. Rick Say touches at 1:47.16. That qualifying time, 1:49.04. That's a Canadian record. Rick Say has just broken his own record in the 200 free with that clocking 1:47.16. Hayden is second, and Andrew Hurd finishes third. But what a great swim from Hayden. Mark Johnston will make the relay team.
There we go. Say first. Then you got Hayden at the bottom of there, Hurd coming in third, but the big news is top four, lanes 6, 7, and 8, will also make the team for the relay. Andrew Hurd, Brett Hayden, and Mark Johnston. But Rick Say, a body length in front of the field, one of the fastest times done in the world. There he is out in front. Powerful, powerful swim for Rick Say. Look for him to challenge and improve on that 7th place spot that he had 4 years ago at Sydney. That puts him in a position to challenge the big boys, Ian Thorpe and Peter van den Hoogenbond.
An event she's using to keep race sharp, a little shorter than the distance she prefers, but she will be competitive because, as she said, she likes to win. Brittany's personal best time is 2:01.31. The Canadian record holder, Marianne Limpert, will watch this one from the pool deck. Reimer will need to go under that mark to qualify for the 200 free in Athens. She's in lane 5. Sophie Simard from Quebec will challenge from lane 4.
Remarkably poised for a 16-year-old that has been anointed the top medal chance for Canada this summer. She's a gamer and a racer, even training through this meet because she's been pre-selected to the Olympics. You can't count her out.
4 lengths of the pool. This is the final of the women's 200-meter freestyle. The qualifying time, 1:59.50. Sophie Simard in 4, Brittany Reimer in 5.
The qualifying time is a very, very quick time, 1:59.5. None of the swimmers in this field has ever attained that time, so they will certainly have to be doing personal best times and stretching it to be able to get to that time to qualify for Canada for Athens in this specific event.
Brittany Reimer has a personal best time of 2:01.31. She did 2:02.72 in the heats as they head to the wall for the first time. It is lane 1, Emily Gillespie leading, and her split time is 28.88.
Well, certainly Emily in one of her first finals decided, I'm going to take these people on just the way Brittany Reimer took the best in the world on at the World Championships last summer, went toe-to-toe and until she couldn't quite polish it off and get to the podium, but at least they're taking on the leaders. That's what you've got to do if you're going to improve. You've got to go for it.
Brittany Reimer settling into a nice, smooth, powerful stroke. Jen Parenta's got a pretty good race going in lane 2 at the top of your picture. As they come off the wall, this is an interesting development.
Parenta in lane number 2 out of Milton, Ontario originally, was a CIS University Rookie of the Year this year in her debut in university swimming. You've got to watch for her, but at the same time, Brittany Reimer, world class, we said, not in this. This distance is a little bit short for Brittany. She just comes into the screen, but she can come back in the last length pretty quickly, and we'll watch how it develops. Gillespie and Beaudry, the bookends in this one in 1 and 8, going well. As they come off the wall, it is Beaudry in lane 8, 1:31.18. And watch for the last length. Who saved the rhythm? In the preliminaries, Kelly Doody in lane 3 looked very, very good. Down at the bottom, there's Beaudry. Had a huge breakthrough last summer and made the Pan Am Games team as a 15-year-old. Labored in the morning, but she might be in the pack here. It's rare to see anybody win from lane 8, but it may happen to Beaudry. Now Kelly Doody is making a move. Doody in lane 3, but here comes Reimer at the wall. It is Reimer winning it with a time of 2:01.68. Lane 3 gets second. That's Kelly Doody. And lane 8, Maya Beaudry, who really came up with a swim of her life, 2:02.54 for third. But there's Brittany Reimer, who wins it with that clocking at 2:01.68, and that does not qualify her for the women's 200 free in Athens. Not rich enough, not fast enough. As they stroke to the end, there we've got it. Way down at the bottom is Beaudry, but you got Reimer. Reimer will just pass Kelly Doody right in the last 5 meters. Get that tall frame of hers to the wall. She'll reach. Doody at the top, way down at the bottom. Beaudry will settle in for the bronze medal. Brittany Reimer, gold medal here. She's looking for bigger things down the road. She's in the middle of hard training, so to get close to her best time is still a good performance. And we'll see what she has to say to Elliott on the pool deck.
Brittany, your initial reaction, good race for you. Why was that?
Basically tonight I just wanted to get up there and race and make sure I was able to race and really get up there and just...
Only one Canadian has ever finaled in the 100-meter freestyle, and that was Dick Pound way back in 1960. This will be a rich field in Athens with the likes of Alexander Popov and Peter van den Hoogenbond. Will it be joined by the men on deck who need a 49.38 to earn their tickets? Rixey was #1 in the heats with a 50.03. He'll have lane 4. The Canadian record holder, Brent Hayden, will be at the top of your screen in lane #1.
Lane #1 is Brent Hayden, the 20-year-old now training in the powerful University of British Columbia team. He was a great find for Canadian swimming, a tremendous talent in freestyle, and he will help carry Canada's hopes in the relays in Athens. Lane #2 is Riley James, 6'5", but I could swear he's about 6'7". He's a big guy, originally out of Saskatchewan, now training in Victoria. He's already been named to the team in the backstroke, as has this man, Matt Rose, a 22-year-old out of Peterborough. Grew up in Lindsay, a small town 100 kilometers from Toronto, with Nancy Sweetenham, a 2-time Olympian from that town. Lane #4 will be Rixey from Victoria. Also grew up in a small town, interior BC, called Salmon Arm. Only started training year-round when he was 17 years of age. Already an Olympic finalist 4 years ago in the 200-meter freestyle. Lane #5 will be Yannick Lupien, 24 years old in Quebec City. First man ever in Canada under the 50-second barrier, was on the team 4 years ago, looking to repeat that effort. Lane #6 will be Craig Hutchison, 6'6", originally out of Montreal, now living and working in Toronto. His 2-year-old little son is cheering for him up in the stands. Mike Mintenko, the butterfly specialist, will have lane #7. The 28-year-old, originally from Moose Jaw, is watching the American trials as well because he is marrying one of their star swimmers next spring. And Chad Hankowicz from Saskatoon, a 22-year-old, only 5'9", is definitely a lot smaller, but a powerful package in this 100-meter freestyle. That's Rixey on the left, Yannick Lupien on the right. Rixey coming down from the 200, 400 specialties to try to take on the 100-meter freestyle.
We're set for the men's 100 free. 2 lengths of the pool. Qualifying time, 49.38. Canadian record holder is in lane 1. His time, 49.53.
Well, and Hayden in the morning almost didn't make the finals, but he is a high favorite to win. The best thing that could happen to him in lane #1 is that he's right next to Riley James, because Riley James loves to go out real hard and fast, and that's what's happening.
Brent Hayden has certainly taken it out hard and fast as they hit the wall. Less than 50 meters to go now. It is Hayden, 23.64 the split.
They are out like rockets, and I said that Brent Hayden is the key to Canada's relays. You need a strong freestyler. He had a great 200-meter freestyle with Rixey. He could get out down near the 49, maybe under 49 in 100-meter freestyle with this effort.
It is still Brent Hayden in the lead with just over 5 meters to go. They're driving to the wall. It is the Canadian record holder, Brent Hayden, and he touches 49.19. That is a good time. Second place in lane 4 is Rixey. Third place in lane 5, Yannick Lupien. That's a Canadian record for Brent Hayden. He breaks his own mark.
Fantastic swim for the man they call Soup for his Superman tattoo on his chest. That's what Canada needs. You need somebody to go up there with all the big boys from around the world to give your relay strength. He's got a body length on the rest of the swimmers as he plugs to the wall, breathing every stroke. That doesn't slow the freestylers down. A lot of them breathe every stroke. And then in the middle, you got Rixey with his best time by half a second. And Yannick Lupien comes in under the relay standard, so he'll be making his second trip to the Olympics. And Canada will have a 4x100 freestyle relay that can challenge to get back into the top 8 in the world rankings. Brent Hayden, a lot of people expected a lot of things from this young man when they saw him burst on the scene in the year 2002 for the Commonwealth. Only started training year-round when he was about 16 years of age. What a talent, what a find, what a swim. Let's hear what he has to say when he talks to Elliott on the pool deck.
Well, Brent, it's very rare we see races won from the outside, but you said before you like it. Why is that?
I don't know. I think it just kind of takes the pressure off. Not everybody's looking at me. You know, I'm just one of those people that doesn't like too much pressure.
Canada basically has now sent a relay team to Athens because of this race. 6 people in this race are going to be going to Athens in one way or another. How much does the speed of everybody else help push you to this Canadian record?
Well, you know, being the Canadian record holder, it's just great to see everybody else stepping up because I can't go any faster without the help of that because you need competition in the pool to swim fast.
And just a final one for you. You said earlier this year in Santa Clara that you started racing the 200 because you wanted to help improve this event. How much do you think it's helped?
I think without the 200, there's no way I'd be able to finish off like that because my back end is just getting so much stronger. So without the help of that extra 2 lengths in the 200, I'd just be a front end 100 freestyle and have no finish there.
Congratulations, Brent. Good luck.
Thank you.
49.19 for Hayden. That's a world-class swim. If he goes like that in Athens, he could indeed be the first Canadian to final in the event since Dick Pound in 1960. O'Brien and Keith Beavers in the 200 back.
Keith Beavers comes up ahead after the dive, the Canadian record holder on his way to gain his second event for the Olympics. But Nathan O'Brien, whose mother swam at the 1976 Olympics in Montreal and was 12th in the 800-meter freestyle, comes storming home on the 4th and final length to pass Beavers for the win. And it's his best time by over a full second. O'Brien and Beavers, both top 10 in the world now, form a nice 1-2 punch for Canada. After growing up in the States, O'Brien is the new face on the national scene. Remember him, as he's going to be around for a while.
You're a second-generation Olympian now. You join your mother as someone who's going to represent Canada at the Olympic Games. What does it mean to you to do that?
That means so much to me. That's the reason I came up here. I'm just happy my mom was here to see it. Love you, Mom.
Mom gets some well-deserved credit from her Olympic-bound son. O'Brien, his best time by a second, and Keith Beavers, both under the standard in this one. A pleasant surprise for Canadian swimming. Same stroke, same distance for the women, and Jennifer Fertizzi.
No surprise as Fertizzi, the Canadian record holder, strokes to the gold medal. Liz Warden finishes up in second spot after challenging earlier in the race. Fertizzi, who moved at age 14 in 1998 to the National Center in Waterloo from her home in Sault Ste. Marie in hopes of making the 2000 Olympic team, fell just short that time. But now she's going to the Olympic Games in Athens.
You were at the 2002 Commonwealth Games. What did that experience teach you about what to expect at a major meet like this one?
Well, I got really caught up in the hype of things, and I learned that I just have to concentrate on myself in my race, in my lane. I can't worry about what the next person beside me is doing. I have to make sure I stick.
Swim team qualified in Etobicoke and then met with amazing success in Los Angeles. This is the team that will wear the maple leaf in 04 in Athens, the smallest team since '68, and 19 fewer than made the trip to Sydney 4 years ago. Will tougher standards make for a stronger team in Greece? Only time will tell. 14 men and 6 women met or bettered the exacting time set by the COC. Medals won't be a sure thing, but the last time a Canadian team was blank was '64. The Olympics bring with them a special kind of pressure. On the day, anything can happen if you get to a final. Canadians are counting on that, but they can't count on Olympic veteran Joanne Millar. Her dream of a 4th Olympics ended in Etobicoke with a hug. Millar